Hey everyone, welcome back to All Walk Sociology. Today, we're diving into one of the most urgent and complex challenges of our time, the climate crisis. But this isn't your typical science discussion. We're exploring it from a sociological perspective. Why do people react so differently to climate change? What stops us from taking action? And most importantly, what can we do about it? Let's break it all down. So here's the big idea. Climate change isn't just an environmental problem, it's a social problem.
Right. We often think of it as science versus denial, but sociology shows us there's a deeper story about values, emotions, and the systems we live in.
For example, why do we see such different reactions to the same scientific data? Some people are fighting for change, others deny it's happening, and many are just overwhelmed. Sociology helps us make sense of these responses.
That brings us to denial. It's not always about rejecting science outright. There's something called implicatory denial. Even when people know climate change is real, they don't change their behavior.
Oh, like when you know you should eat healthy, but you still grab that extra slice of cake.
Exactly. It's tied to emotions, fear, helplessness, even guilt. Ignoring the problem feels easier than confronting it.
And let's not forget the role of disinformation and propaganda, like the fossil fuel industry spreading doubt to protect their profits. That's denial on a societal scale.
Another critical point is who suffers the most. Vulnerable populations, those with fewer resources or weaker infrastructure, are hit hardest by climate change.
It's heartbreaking. Communities that contribute the least to the problem often pay the highest price. It's a stark reminder of global inequality.
Exactly. For instance, the article we're discussing highlights Norway, a country seen as environmentally conscious but still heavily reliant on oil profits. They use strategies like selective interpretation to justify it, focusing on their green efforts while downplaying the environmental harm of oil production.
So even nations with good intentions face contradictions. This leads us to a tough question. Is our current economic system sustainable?
The article introduces the concept of the metabolic rift. It's about how capitalism's focus on endless growth disrupts the planet's natural balance.
We keep taking resources and dumping waste, creating problems like resource depletion and widening inequality.
But there are alternatives like circular economies, systems that emphasize reducing, reusing, and recycling.
It's something we learned in elementary school but seem to have forgotten as adults.
The good news? There's hope. Clean energy technologies like solar and wind power are advancing rapidly, and more people, especially young activists, are demanding change.
It's inspiring to see. But it's also a race against time. We're nearing tipping points in the climate system that could cause irreversible damage.
That's why we need both individual actions, like reducing waste, and systemic change, which requires collective action.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. If this inspired you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that dives deep into the big issues.
Remember, we're all part of the solution. Let's work together for a better world. See you next time.